Cleveland needed a spark. After a sluggish, mistake-filled loss to the Steelers, the Browns walked into the facility on Monday knowing something had to change, and it started with their head coach. Usually calm, calculated, and stoic, Kevin Stefanski has built his reputation on control. But behind closed doors, before that 31-6 demolition of the Miami Dolphins, the locker room saw a different version of their leader. The version that doesn't whisper. The version that doesn't just diagram plays, he demands results. Smash that subscribe button, drop a like, and comment below. This community runs on real fans like you. Because according to veteran guard Joel Bitonio, Stefanski lit into his offense earlier in the week and then some. "We had a little intensity on Monday," Bitonio revealed after the win. "He was intense and laid out expectations, especially for us on offense." On Monday, Stefanski confirmed it himself. "The Philly comes out every once in a while," he joked, acknowledging that his inner fire, shaped by his Philadelphia upbringing, boiled over after that embarrassing performance in Pittsburgh. For a coach often criticized for being too calm, this was a side of him the players hadn't seen in a while, and they responded. It wasn't just talk. The Browns came out against the Dolphins with purpose, focus, and a completely different identity. Stefanski's tone during that Monday meeting set the standard. He challenged the offense, especially his line and running backs, to stop playing cautious and start dictating. And by Sunday it showed. Quinshon Judkins, the rookie sensation who's been the heart of Cleveland's rushing attack, answered that challenge with authority, pounding in 3 touchdowns and dragging defenders through the rain and wind. For the first time since last season, the Browns cracked 18 points and did it with confidence. Stefanski's fiery moment came at the perfect time. His job security had been a talking point all week, with local and national voices questioning whether his even-keeled demeanor was holding the team back. Instead of clapping back publicly, he channeled the criticism privately, letting that frustration fuel his message. It wasn't just a coach's rant. It was a reminder that leadership comes in many tones, and sometimes silence has to give way to thunder. And the Browns heard it loud and clear. Against Miami, they didn't just win, they dominated. The offensive line protected, the play calling clicked, and the defense fed off that same fire, holding the Dolphins to just 6 points. In 1 week, Cleveland went from listless to locked in. That wasn't luck. That was a team rallying around its coach. When the final whistle blew, the scoreboard told one story, but the locker room told another. Players were smiling again. The tension that had hung over the team for weeks was gone. Kevin Stefanski's message had landed. For a man often accused of being too quiet, too polished, his emotional reset turned the narrative upside down. This wasn't about theatrics, it was about accountability. Joel Bitonio put it best after the win. "When things get tough, he makes a stand and puts us in the best position possible." That's not just a quote, that's culture. The Browns needed to see their coach step into the fire with them, to know that the man drawing up plays on the sideline was feeling the same frustration they were. And once they saw that, the response was immediate. Offensively, Cleveland's performance wasn't perfect, it was disciplined. The game plan was simple and effective. In heavy rain and swirling winds, Stefanski didn't overthink. He trusted his line, trusted Judkins, and kept the ball on the ground. Rookie quarterback Dillon Gabriel wasn't asked to do too much, he just needed to be efficient, and he was. The result wasn't just points, it was rhythm, the thing this offense had been missing for weeks. Defensively, the Browns were relentless. They forced mistakes, controlled the tempo, and never allowed the Dolphins to find balance. And when they won, it wasn't relief, it was confirmation. Confirmation that the fire Stefanski showed on Monday wasn't misplaced emotion. It was leadership exactly when the team needed it most. Even Stefanski's self-awareness made headlines. Laughing about his Philly side coming out, he reminded the media that intensity doesn't have to mean chaos, it can mean conviction. "The Philly comes out every once in a while," he said, half grinning, half serious. That mix of humor and steel might just be the combination that keeps this team locked in through the season's second half. The truth is, every good team eventually needs a moment like this when the head coach stops teaching and starts demanding. The Browns got theirs, and it paid off instantly. But the challenge now is consistency. One fiery meeting can ignite a spark, but keeping that flame alive, that's where seasons are defined. For Kevin Stefanski, this was more than a win. It was a reminder that leadership isn't one-dimensional, and that sometimes the quietest man in the room just has to raise his voice. Comment below, this space belongs to everyone who lives and breathes the Browns. We're alive, we're loud, and we're just getting started.